you can't have your characters spread over hundreds of miles type thing, and people actually can see that. Kind of like Elspeth said about why they do things in films,
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
but you don't cram. From one person per square mile, you don't cram 500 into that square mile.
I don't. Yeah, no, it's a long time since I've read it, so I will have to read it again. But I must admit, though, I don't think they've ever done. I'm not sure how they do it. I don't think they've ever even tried to make a film of this one. But I have to be honest, one of my favourite science fiction stories along those lines as well is the Forever War. I don't
Oh
know if you've
yeah,
read that
yeah.
one. I just love where
That's the
basically
one I read after.
yeah, traveling faster than light with proper physics. So basically, when you arrive in another system, a couple of hundred years have gone by since she left. But the problem is, you don't know if the enemy you're going to fight in this system is from your future or you're from theirs, and it's just what I mean, because it's all about
Yeah.
relativity and all that. That's
I
just
just like
awesome stuff.
how the protagonist is, what,
Yeah,
400, 500 years old by the time he's ready to retire, and
yeah,
anybody he's ever known, unless they have been on deployment too, and the
yeah.
chances of actually being with anybody is zero.
Yes. Oh yeah, no, it's a very interesting concept. It's very good. Right. Well, we've got 4 players in Fantasy Grounds and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people in voice. So we'll
Marlon on the
You haven't
table
got
yet.
it. I think my system is just giving me fits. Oh, there we go.
Yeah, we tried to watch Infinity Wars last night, and for some reason, the Disney Channel, all my sound, I have speakers in my monitor, and
yeah.
everything else sounds fine. And we tried to watch it, and it was so low, we could barely hear it. So we were trying different speaker configurations. We couldn't get it, but I think it's something to do with Disney Channel or the Marvel movies, one or the other. Because some,
I'll talk you. Yeah. Talking of which, actually, Disney Channel, I completely forgot about it because I forgot that they changed it to Wednesdays. So I basically I finally watched Loki. That's interesting.
I got fed up with Infinity Wars when I could barely hear it, and Loki got killed, and I'm like, I can't even hear why. What?
Yeah, the
Yeah.
TV show Loki looks promising.
It's very good. I enjoyed the part 1.
It's a good concept, yeah. Better than that Falcon rubbish.
Well, the grandson and I are going to start watching it together because we've been watching Marvel movies together. We used to go to the first matinee of every release, of every release of the Marvel movies until he hit about 16, 17. And then he was like, Doctor Strange. He came home, he went to see it with friends. And he felt bad because this was something we usually did together. And he's telling me about how great the movie is and it's totally awesome and this and that. And he's going on and right in the middle of it, but you can't watch it, Dana. What? You can't watch it. It's got a lot of weird visual stuff. You'll have a seizure. Then don't tell me about it, damn it. Actually, I did watch it because if I can watch it at home, which we finally did, and I love Doctor. He was always one of my favorites, and I loved the movie. I can, if it starts getting weird, we can pause it, and I can take a break from it till my brain settles.
Exactly. Well, this is it, isn't it? This is very much the case. So, Bueller doesn't appear to be with us again. That's a shame, but that's okay.
He said he's going to be like 10 minutes late.
That's
in chat there.
absolutely fine. If he can meet you up when you get outside. So I seem to recall that you actually managed to sneak through this entire place with Donahue still jacked in at the start, watching the guards walking around in circles, and you've managed traversing the entire facility and dispatched one of the security guards. I think that's where we left it.
Well, we left a bunch of them unconscious and tied up too.
That was the techie, wasn't it? Yeah.
Well, no, the guards in their first room too, and they're in.
Oh yes, the guards there. Yes.
Yeah, Merlin wanted to kill him. We didn't. Yeah. No, was it Merlin or Donahue? Merlin. Yeah.
If as long as punches, they'll live.
Don't put that on Merlin.
It was Donahue. At least was on that side too.
Yeah, maybe Donahue. One of you wanted to kill him anyway. One of you was murderous, and we just decided to knock him out instead.
Right. Well, The security guard's going next after someone basically decided to insert a sharp metal object in his his not best friend, in his work colleague's eyeball.
He might have
So
been his
he's
best
getting
friend.
It might have been indeed.
They could have been lovers.
Well, it fit.
Or it fit in his eyeball, did it?
Yeah, just to retcon, I've been here all along. I've actually been. I get put in a bag at the beginning. I've been having a nap.
Oh yes, okay.
Just slept through the whole. What we do?
We're trying to go silently so we don't draw those guards that are on patrol to us. But it's Aki's coming up pretty soon. That'll come to an end.
Well, I think the guard's about to open up too.
Yep. He's ducked. He's basically backed off. He's ducked down behind a desk, and I think he's basically just going to let rip with his Hashiman rapid fire 9mm on Aki, who's standing in the doorway.
And it sucks,
hitting him once.
sucks their guns work better than yours, huh?
Most people's guns work better than mine.
Aki is shaken at that. The other security guards will react to the gunfire. And one of them, in fact, just got a Joker, so that's a good start for me. I means I've got an extra Benny already for the bad guys. Yay!
They're going to need them.
Okay, and then security guard number 4 gets to go next. My word. It's a good day if you're a NPC.
It's going to take them a while to get here, though.
It is indeed. Queeg! Hello, Mr.
Yes,
Queeg.
yes. Think I might have to run to get to that guy.
You can. I'm sure you can shove Aki out of the way.
Think I'd just step over him, wouldn't I? I can't see around the corner to see if that's a good location or
Yeah,
not.
I was going to say, I cannot accept that move because you can't walk through walls. Well, you might be able to, but Fancy Grounds won't let me make you walk through a wall. I should, yeah. Basically, I'll move you to there so you're inside the room at 1 inch of movement, and then you can see. Now you can see what's going on. So you moved 1 inch. I can't use English today.
That would be 5, so that would.
Sweep up the mess in here, quick.
What's that?
Sweep up this mess in here.
He's cleaning it now.
You most certainly are. Might use the Benny I just got. Unless you roll too high damage. 1 wound. I might try risking a Benny with 1 wound. Nope. Oh well, down he goes. Smack. Mr. Merlin, sir.
Merlin is going to.
Hello. Hello, Jack. How are you, young man?
Go on hold, actually. I don't know. Maybe not. I don't have any defenses up. Yeah, let me just go ahead and defend.
Have they got any
I will
delicious,
set
tasty, healthy sandwiches there?
to here. That should put everybody in range.
Should have did you eat before you left? Oh, still sweet fuck all's pretty good.
That's your smarts range.
It is not letting me target Quig for some reason.
Quig looks like he's in 2 positions on my screen.
Yeah.
I just cancelled his
showing-
move. For
yeah,
some
there we
reason,
go.
I can cancel Quig's move because I've got special powers. I'll target him now.
You're
I've
amazing.
targeted him. I've targeted him.
Pow, Quig, Aki, Merlin. Okay, yeah, everybody's been targeted. Time to drop some protection
He's
on
turned
them.
off PowerPoints.
Say that again?
No, I just wondered if he's turned off PowerPoints or not.
No? Why would I turn off PowerPoints? I know the setting is meant to be PowerPoint free, but yeah. Anyway, go for it, Mr. Merlin, sir.
How do the PowerPoints work if they're not with no PowerPoint?
Well,
I can't find mine.
Wow, why am I?
basically spell modifiers for every PowerPoint for every 2 PowerPoints. I think it's a -1 on your spell casting roll.
Well, so it's the same as in Lankmar, then we get a penalty unless you take time casting it.
I don't. No, I don't think there's any.
Yeah, in Lankmar, all the spells have got
No,
a
no, it
casting
doesn't.
modifier.
I don't know how it works in Sprawlrunners because I must admit I took one read of that and decided to ignore it.
Oh, right.
Only because only because you can't use arcane. You can't create magic. Well, I didn't know what the party was going to consist of, and obviously you can create. You can't with you use PowerPoints to create arcane devices, don't you? And which means you can't create arcane devices if you don't have PowerPoints. So, not realizing that no one was going to go that route, I decided. Well, I don't like no PowerPoints anyway, to be honest.
Right. So where are my PowerPoints in?
What do you mean, where are your PowerPoints?
Maybe I just.
Yeah, the powers tab is acting funny. You've seen me click
Oh yeah.
the cast, and it's just trying to post the link instead of actually.
And it applied it to Merlin and Pow Pow, but not to the rest of us. No, it didn't.
Yeah, it hasn't
Right.
applied it. It's
No,
just
I see what you mean. The PowerPoints has just vanished. Oh joy! Hang on a second.
Hello, Metallica,
It's my
Makataka,
confusion.
Malakataka,
Yeah,
Makataka,
I mean,
Makapaka,
it's up there
Makapaka.
on our icons up at the
Makapaka.
top, but it's not on the character sheet.
Yep. I am going. Arcane devices is there. Character devices streams there. I think I'm going to kick you all. Sorry.
Oh, I'm right in the balls.
I still feel like that after 10 minutes of watching that program earlier. I'm just so guttedly and not angry. But anyway.
Program.
Oh crap! I clicked the wrong button. Something I've been waiting for since 1989. They finally made it, and they screwed it up royally.
What program?
The Watch. Basically, they took Terry Pratchett's Ankh-Morpork City Watch and dumped on it from a great height by just taking everything that made it worth watching and getting rid of it.
Was that a movie or was it some animation?
Oh, it's a 10-part TV series made by BBC America, and it came out in January. After 10 minutes, I decided I hadn't got the strength to carry on watching this terminal, disgusting mess they've made of something of a
Terry Pratchett, yeah.
Yeah,
There was
everyone
another one they made
knows
a few years ago that was a movie as well, or a TV series, wasn't there?
Well, I must admit they did Going Postal, which wasn't bad. They also did Feet of Clay, which wasn't bad, and then they went and did The Color of Magic, which was absolutely awful.
How can they get The Color of Magic wrong?
Oh, they did, and but this was made by BBC America, and basically the first thing they decided was who wants to see a medieval magical fantasy world on the back of a turtle? Let's make it cyberpunk instead.
Oh, so they just completely fucked it. The watch is really good.
What idea is it supposed to be? It's supposed to be. It's police procedures, but with D&D.
Yeah, I mean, let's face it.
So let's shoot a lock off with an arrow. What?
Yeah, I mean, let's be honest here. Hill Street Blues in D&D, Hill Street Blues, or any other police dramas. In theory, you can't go wrong. You take your standard police procedural drama, add some comic value in, and set it on a fantasy world. How do you screw that up? Quite easily, it would appear. Anyway, rant over. Because
the wrong fantasy world.
Well, it's not even that though. It's just wrong. Lord Veterinary is still called Lord Veterinary, but they, I think, maybe is the idea is being played by a woman, which I don't have a problem with, but it's like the person they picked is not who I would have under my. Have you seen the first series of Pennyworth?
No.
But if there's the Raven Society, for a short time is their leader in that. It's a female doctor. Don't get me wrong; she's a very good actress. She's a very funny actress, but I never pictured her as Lord Vetinari. But anyway, Charles Dance was good, and so was what's his name, Jeremy Irons. They both of them pulled it off. But anyway, I'm not going there. Rant over. Sorry. Fantasy Grounds should be back. Beulah has joined us, and your PowerPoints are back. Huzzah!
Huzzah!
It would appear that basically, for some reason, and I am just going to leave it as some reason. I noticed the first time I reloaded Sprawlrunners, I noticed the theme hadn't loaded. What I failed to notice was it hadn't also loaded all the settings. So we were trying to play Sprawlrunners without any of the rules, hence the lack of PowerPoints and everything else. Huzzah! Right, you are casting spellcasting Deflection. Is that your special version, isn't it? Rather than, are you just doing your stat? Are you doing your version, or are you doing the normal version for a
I'm
change?
doing my version.
Scooby Dooby
I don't
Doo,
think
where
the
are you?
targeting makes any difference because
Who
it's
just
manually.
started?
Anyway, isn't it?
Well, we got everybody except Donahue and Wave. It looks like. No, it didn't get Pow Pow either.
Hello,
do
Mr.
it for
Beulah. Right.
1, 2,
Puto coluto sepetente que papa malupu chupapa.
Are you missing off
I
the map, Mr.
may have clicked it to do it before they got in here, so.
That's absolutely fine. Well, we have a full house at last. Anyway, so you have cast Merlin's Shield upon. Oh dear. Actually, that's the same time I woke up. But it was.
You didn't wake up to that call as an alarm.
No, exactly. No, I just woke up because it's daylight now. So summer is here, and that means basically bright outside. And I woke up. Fun stuff. Okay, Mr. Merlin, are you moving after that?
Yes, I will then continue to move and stand here. Actually, no, let's stand
Did you watch Loki?
here so
Good,
I
isn't
can
it?
kind of look around the corner but still have decent cover.
I am going to.
I don't know what triggered that interrupt. I was clicking the combat tracker just to see what.
No. It's nothing like that. I basically had you on hold because you weren't here. That's all it was. Now I'm just fiddling things by giving you manual cards to keep you on the list of the combat tracker. Just 'cause why not? Mr. Aki, sir.
He lost his shaking with all the things going on.
Oh, not shaking anymore. It looks like the shaking fell off on its own.
Yeah.
The shaking did fall. The shaking did fall off.
Mate, well, so we know the security guards are coming, so I'm going to go in here and just stay there and be prepared.
Okay. Okay, so you walk inside. There appears to appears to be a number of consoles, stupid doors. Appears to be a number of desks and computer screens on them, and there appears to also be 4 detention areas. In fact, they're labeled Detention SL 1, 2, 3, and 4. Mr. Donahue, sir. You can see the security guards are moving down the system down the corridor. In addition, you can see it would appear that certain individuals
At my second jab today,
trying to
I've become magnetic.
unlock their doors because they're trapped inside their offices. One of them appears to be using an executive override.
Spoon stuck to my hand. Look. Not holding it at all. Look. See? Magnetic. You believe me?
It's up to you if you want to let them in or out.
Okay, it's my
really.
turn. Yes, I want to interrupt. I
Yes.
actually want to steal his executive override
Okay.
and then still block him.
Okie dokie. Let's make you make a hacking roll then. I'm going to use the inherent security system security as an opposed roll for that. So, are you happy with a 6?
Do I know if that's likely to succeed?
It's an opposed roll, so your guess is as good as mine because obviously this dice could roll low or it could roll high.
I'll try. For now, I'll stick with that 6, I guess.
It was good enough. The system security system is unable to prevent you from basically siphoning off or key logging his access code. You basically are able to interrupt the packet, get the code, and then deny access. And flipping to the camera, you can see this executive and his PA. Well, his PA seems to be being berated by the executive as he sits at his incredibly large, plush-looking. Oh, the carpet's gone. I thought I'd put a carpet in there. I did put a carpet in there. I wonder what happened to that. He's got his is the only office with carpet. You see, that's why you assume he's executive. But anyway, he's shouting and screaming and banging at the door and trying to use comms, but nothing seems to be working. Waif.
Well, Waif's going to step inside and pull her shuriken out of the guy's eyes. And then through our comm system, I'm going to ask Donahue if he can release these cell doors. And I've got extra moves, so I'm going to come over to one of the cell doors. So we can, because we're presuming she's being held prisoner by now, right?
That's what you assume. You're approaching cell door number 4. It would appear that it would appear that the cell doors are mag locked and have to be opened locally rather than on the system.
Let them know that there's a local system. I can't touch it from where I am.
Yeah, there's a good chance the security guards have got maglock keys on them, or they could primarily try and pick them themselves.
Wait, skill set, so.
Mr. Pow Pow.
Pow Pow will go to.
Got grid. Have I got locked to grid on? No wonder you're having problems. I hate the way Fancy Grounds basically ignores the you've turned off the lock to grid because that's why you're all hitting the walls. Because actually, what is up with this grid? What is up with this grid? I made this.
Well, I'm going to run to there and I'm going to cast Protecting with the more armor.
Okay, Fancy Grounds
on everybody.
Fancy Grounds has. I don't know what's happened to Fancy Grounds, but it's definitely had a song.
Holy
I don't know how or there's no logical explanation for how or why the update I ran this morning has done that, but it would appear to have unlocked all my extensions, and it appears to have basically moved all the grid on the map as well. Isn't that fun? Right.
Wait till you see how they bork the way that you do the line of sight occluders now.
Have they?
Yeah, you know how like if you draw a line, like if you put a window over a wall and then you just draw a line and then to double click remove and then delete that last point to make the window or the door connect. You know what I mean? To make it
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now that used to be a simple click. Now it takes like 3, 4, 5 clicks to get that point deleted for every door and every window.
I'm unfortunate. Yeah, I haven't tried that yet. I haven't tried that since the because I only updated today. So you put a door on. So let's put a door on.
That surprised me when I was getting ready for a game and I had forgotten to do a room on Friday night. I was thrilled.
And imagine, actually, hang on a sec. So I've just drawn a door, and then you won't be able to see it because it's in the invisible area. And then I'm drawing two walls.
Do it like through a wall, right? Like
I tend to do it the other way around. I tend to do the doors first and then draw the walls, because then you just select. I tend to draw the doors first and then draw the walls afterwards, because then I can draw the walls into the doors and then basically highlight both the bits of the wall inside the door and just remove them. That's how I do it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, that might work then. The way I do it is to.
Because I found if you drew the walls first and then tried to put a door on top of the wall, it was a world of pain. So that's why I never went that way again. But it sounds like they've made no difference. Mr. Bueller, sir. Right, let's put everyone on the updated grid locations, although I've turned off snap to grid, but in case it turns itself back on again, everyone will be in a nice grid square.
Okay, so Bueller can go. And then I guess he'll go here. Would that put him at the terminal?
Yeah, that's the security terminal. Yeah, no problem at all.
All right. So I guess he might want to check in on that thing, but I don't know. I mean, he wants to coordinate with whatever Donahue's doing.
Yep, sure. Donahue's still Donahue's still jacked in at the far end of the complex, watching you all on the camera system. Okay,
yeah, sure. I'll just jack in and just try to see what's going on.
Yeah.
Would that be a hacking roll or nothing? Or
actually, yes, it will be a hacking roll. It will be a hacking roll because you need to get in past the firewall, which has got a security factor of. No, I'm afraid that says it comes up access denied unless you want to spend a penny. Yep, that's successful. You're able to get onto the system with that role, so you find yourself inside. It seems to be an isolated security system rather than the mainframe system, but from here you can control the doors and everything else.
Can I open these doors then?
You can indeed. It seems an unnecessarily complicated system to open the doors, and in this 6-second slot you'll have, you can only open one of those doors. But we'll get to that. In the meantime, you see, I'm running the guards down, so this makes it more interesting on which door you pick. Queeg, what do you want to do while the guards are running towards you?
I am going to run out the door and tell Merlin I'll cover the side here if he wants to help inside there.
Be my guest. I'm not going to bother dealing you cards because you're technically out of combat. It's an easier way to keep it in turn-based movement, just to work out what you could do before the guards get to you. And yeah, hit the door. But you can get to there, no problem at all. In fact, you can get further. In fact, that's only about.
Yeah, that's where I want to be, and I'll.
Yeah.
Just let me know when they get close to that corner up there, Donahue. If you can still see them.
Donahue might not be able to see him, but of course I'll tell him when he could see them on that corner, if that makes sense.
Yep.
That corner up there?
Yeah, that corner.
Yeah. At the moment, as far Donahue says, they're still heading down the northern corridor. They haven't turned. One of them's just about to turn the corner of the northern corridor. Mr. Merlin, sir.
I'm going to go on hold, waiting for the guards to show up.
Okie dokie. Mr. Aki, sir.
Yeah, I don't know. We just got to wait for the guards to that. These are the
Well,
detention centre. Do we want
you
to
have
open
indeed.
detention centre doors? There might be some mutated Forrest Gumps inside these doors, mightn't
Well, check
that's
check the
the
bodies that were the guys we killed to see if they've got the key cards.
there? Yeah, there's a body over there, so I'll go and have a look, see if he's got any access on him. Do we need to roll anything?
You walk over to that body. You just frisk the body. He does appear to have a security card on him, which means you can Beulah can obviously centrally unlock them, but obviously the key cards also let you do it manually, so they can literally open and close cells as needed. Mr. Donohue's.
I was going to say, Donahue, are there any cameras in these cells?
No. Because that would be too easy.
Okay, so you're saying that I can see they're about that spot?
Yeah, that one basically one's there and one's sort of there as they're coming down the corridor.
Okay, I let them know they've got incoming, like 5 seconds, 2 seconds.
Even if you get eight. The nearest one's 28 inches away.
Okay, so
from that corner.
Nearest is 28 inches. Oh, so these are the ones from up by where I am.
Yes. So when we say 28 inches away, that's what's if we did. Oh, you assume on the average they'll get 6. They're probably about 30 seconds away. If you put it in real time, it'll probably take them 30 seconds to reach the rest of the party.
5 rounds, right?
4 or 5 rounds on it. Yeah. Given the assumption they're running all the way, I'd say 4. Unless they roll really badly, 4 rounds, 5 tops. The other reason I'm doing it this way is to make Vernon's PowerPoints run down. You see.
I'll warn them. They got like 20 to 30 seconds.
Yeah.
And I can't really access anything else without leaving where I am, right? To get anything out of data storage 7, I would actually have to leave the security system.
Yes, yeah, you would have to transfer. Actually, no, data storage 7. You can access data storage 7 from where you are because it's connected to the CPU the sub-processing unit you're on. So you can access data store 7. Yes.
All right. If there does not appear to be anything else in particular, I will do that. I'll start.
Okay, that seems to be low-level security. I assume a simple success will get you in there. Basically, the target number's 4 is what I'm trying to say without saying that. Yep, no problem at all. You are able to access data store 7. It appears to be just various security-related files. Nothing of much interest. Mostly seems to be sort of routine reports and paperwork filing from the security subsystems, and and sort of basically reporting and of any equipment damaged in the line of duty or stuff like that, but nothing of high value or intrinsic usefulness to anyone.
I'll
To be honest,
download it. I can see it being useful for being able to hack and not high priority, but be enough to fake reports and being able to alter reports.
Yes, fair enough. It is cold and empty.
Okay, well, I'll tell them that one's clear and move to the next one because I still have move left.
Yep, be my guest. Swap those around.
Pow pow.
Pow pow.
Okay, right. I'm actually going to go in the hold. If it'll let me.
Well, it should let you.
Hang on. There we go. Ta-da! Yeah, wait to see these guys when they appear. They appear.
Sorry, I'm just interesting. I clicked on the accept move and it moved you back to where you started. Bueller, Mr. Bueller, sir, you basically you could, from where you are, you could see that Donahue appears to be someone accessing the file system, but you assume it. You realise quickly, probably over comms and everything, that it's Donahue. But you can see he's rifling through the file systems on the computer you're on at the moment.
All right. Well, and you said I had access to these doors, right? So what I would do is tell Waif heads up, and let's try door number 2, which would be to her north.
Door number 2 to her north. Okay, you open the door to door number. You open the door to door number 2, and unless again this appears to be another cold detention cell, but also another empty one. Evidence, however, shows that someone was held here recently. You can see there seems to be there's bed, unlike the other one. There does show signs of sort of disrupted bedding and a left food plate, as it were, as if they haven't cleared up this cell. But there's no one in there now. Right. That brings us back to the security guards. Let's see what they get up to this round. 9 inches. So this security guard the first security guard is heading down the southern corridor. So he's obviously a faster runner than Donahue first thought he might be. The second one's obviously a little on the slower side. He's only just made it to the corner of the northern corridor, if that makes sense. So in other words, you've got one. You've got one. Hang on, no, you probably can't see it in the dark. You've got one there, and the slow one's back there. Which brings us to Merlin, who, if you're staying on hold, I can quite happily move on.
I just want to make sure that I've got sight around the corner. But yes, I plan on staying on hold.
I think you just there you go. That gives you sight around the corner. Yep. Aki.
Yeah, so how do I go on hold?
Right, the easiest thing is say I'm going on hold.
Yeah, but is there a way for me to do it?
I'm sure there is, but never having been a player, I don't know.
Oh, hang on, there it is. There you go. I see it. I found it in the corner. I'm on hold.
There you go. You're on hold. Mr. Donahue, sir.
Got a refresh button.
Ah.
You've never been a player? We need to make you a player.
Sorry, I didn't catch that. Someone was ranting at me.
Do I keep getting 8s?
Do you keep getting 8s?
I was just wondering, because that's like the third time I had like an 8. Maybe the second time the 8 of hearts.
Well, yeah. No, I'm not dealing cards.
Okay.
Doesn't the guard show up? We're technically not in combat.
You're technically not in combat, but I'm just using the turn process because it makes life easier for you. Because how long you can do something while the guards are getting closer. So I'm not dealing cards. I will deal cards when one of the guards reaches the corner, if that makes sense. Because
I was just confused. Okay, 8. All right. I'm stealing stuff out of data storage 7. I don't really want to leave the security system, so I'll just stay in here and keep an eye on things. Look for anybody causing trouble.
you have locked it down, so if there is, well, yeah, there is a risk if you leave, but obviously if there is that whole system, if you want to go exploring, of course.
Oh, I do.
You won't get a chance once they have to leave.
That's a good point. All right, I'm gonna head for SPU 3.
SPU 3. Okay, SPU 3. Okay. That appears to have well, actually, the security level access your messages you're getting appears that it is an administration system, and therefore, basically, not from a security perspective, should be relatively straightforward for you to move to. Obviously, just a straightforward hacking role to bypass the access point. You're coming from a trusted system, so it was literally just a forward. So, yep, you find yourself in the sectional administration system, it would appear. You appear to, it appears to have 3 data stores connected to it. For the information you can ascertain at the moment, the data store 4 is appears to be the personnel database. Data store 5 basically appears to be a general purpose data store. Data store 6 catches your eye. It is labeled. It basically appears to have the restricted files on it, apparently.
Okay.
And the IOP port, as far as you can ascertain, that basically would connect you into one of the meeting rooms. So it's just, it's obviously, it seems to be a teleconferencing terminal in one of the meeting rooms, the IOP port.
Okay. 4 was what?
4 was the personnel database. So just employee records and things like that.
And 6 was the secret file?
Restricted files, it seems to be labeled as restricted files.
Oh. But if you use my
obviously,
first round.
Yeah, but obviously restricted files in an administration system, not necessarily company restricted files. You know what I'm trying to say there. You know what I mean? It's not as like it's the restricted files in the R&D section or something like that. It's obviously, it's possibly just, let's be honest, it's probably the human resources files.
Okay.
Is what I'm trying to say in terms of level of security and all that, because as I say, it's not that secure. But yeah, that's what you can ascertain. And wave.
Can you use the access card and open this one?
Okay, I shall unlock the door if it lets me, and you open the door.
And is there anybody in here?
There is certainly oh, you can't see him. I apologize. Let's try that again.
Oh, babies.
Orc children.
I'm gonna motion for him to get out of here. Where we've come to save them, and just motion them to leave the cell.
Then we can use them as body shields, can't we?
They're children. Come on, even weight isn't that.
That's
what I was thinking, or at least
as you open the door, at one they sort of yelp in fright and stop backing away against the wall, and basically they're clearly quite terrified.
Well, I spoke to them and reassured them that we were there to rescue them. That doesn't.
They don't appear to be any less scared at this time. You get the impression that, given
We need Bueller to go over there and smile at him with his bald head.
Possibly.
Well, I'm going to leave the door open and then move away towards the next door.
Okie dokie.
Because we still have.
How are you staying on hold?
I'm going to first hold, in fact.
Bumblebee. Tuna fish salad roll. I just fucking followed through. Doody doo.
I'm going to come off hold, and I'm just going to move to there. And that's
Okay.
it.
Righty
All right,
ho.
so Buell is going to use his action
Okay.
to open up the door in front of Waif, and then he's going to use his movement to go and look at the children that are orcs and hopefully give them some sort of calm them down a little bit some way, maybe just by being another orc.
Now, it was orcs that asked us to come in here and do this. Is there the probability that these kids were stolen from them?
Very likely.
Yeah, so recovering the kids as well as the scientists we're after would probably,
Be a good idea, yes.
Buell is opening that door, and then he'll go and
Yep.
stand in front of the door.
Okay. I've lost what I'm looking for. I'm not looking for that. I'm looking for. Sorry. There's this very annoying thing that basically tokens appear to go over pins in Unity, so it's very annoying. You put a nice little pin on the map, and then a token appears over it, and you can't click on the pin anymore.
And you have to move the token to get the pin.
Yep. Okay. You open that door.
Isn't that a thing? Isn't there a thing at the top of the menu now? You know the little drop-down menu at the top of the map. There's a shortcut view mode which toggles the pin to the top and bottom, doesn't it?
No, it just turns the pins on and off.
Oh well, they need to make them say toggle them to the top.
And that's no different than the show hide shortcuts on the sidebar now. So, okay, Beulah, yes, you head over to see the orc children. Waif, you open the door. Inside there appears to, well, hang on, I think I have a description. Appears to be who you assume is the person you were sent here to bring back, Dr. Carol Owens. She looks surprised when you open the door and says, "I heard gunfire. What's going on?"
We're here to get you out of here. Keeping it brief.
2 cents.
Some friends.
You'll have to give me more than that. Anyway, back to the security guards. So let's see if the far security.
Obi-Wan sent us.
They've been eating way too many donuts. They ain't got here yet.
Well, they have a long way to run. I should have fudged their dice rolls and made them run faster. But I was trying to be nice. In fact, I am fudging their die rolls from now on.
Yeah, because now when they get to us, we're going to have all these innocents to protect too. Gee, thanks.
Why do you think I made them take their time? They're both heading down the southern corridor, Donahue, on the cameras. You reckon if in less than in about 6 seconds, the first one will reach the corner.
Okay.
Quick. In other words, he's
okay. Is that the corner up there then?
Yeah. According to Donahue, that one of what they should be rounding that corner very quickly. In fact, from here you can probably hear the pounding of their feet as they run down the corridor.
All right, Merlin, how do you see this happening now?
No, I don't see them coming around the corner just yet.
No, what do you think we should do when they come around? You're there to do something.
I plan on shooting them. I plan on shooting them with my bow.
Okay, then Quig will go on hold and wait for Merlin to do his attack, and when they come around the corner, and then he will charge. Yeah.
How much further away are they?
You can hear them approach.
In game terms, the nearest one is 7 inches from the corner. So I can't be. Well,
okay.
14,
in that case, I will come off of hold, and I will smite mine and Quig's weapons.
Go for it. don't forget to spend the power points for your other one that
Oh,
you
yeah,
couldn't spend the power points on before.
And you might want to, I don't know which is better for this one, to do that or to keep the shield going.
Oh, I'll keep the shield going too.
The shield won't expire. The shield will expire from next round. I'll be dealing cards again, and then I think you'll get one more round with the shield before it expires because I've had to manually down them. So the shield. I know I've moved the shield down to 1 round because that means it will be 1 round when I deal cards. But it's, you know what I mean. It's not expiring yet because it won't until I actually do it. It's interesting unless you actually do a complete round. If you just move up and down the tracker, it doesn't. For the powers, it doesn't treat it as rounds, which makes sense because I'm not changing the round counter. But I don't want to change rounds because I don't want to unnecessarily deal out jokers to everyone, NPCs and you guys. But what I did want was to give you enough time to get all the people you need to protect and be heroic to save into the danger zone before the baddies got here, and it worked beautifully. Okay, Aki, are you staying on hold?
I am.
Okay, Mr. Donahue, sir.
They've got their warning about their countdown.
Yep.
What is the SAN?
Well, I would have said it was a storage area network, but I don't know what it means here because apparently it connects to the beta section computer system.
Systems access node.
Thank you. Because obviously this is 90. This is obviously This is obviously 1980s computer jargon rather than 2021 computer jargon. So yeah, system access node. That would lead to the beta computer section, but as you already know, the beta section is offline, so therefore you assume that SAN 2 won't get you anywhere.
I'm going to head for CPU 1.
Although that does imply that SAN 1 might be headed somewhere interesting. CPU 1, okay, you're going for their central processor. Okay, that, as you can imagine, is quite secure.
It's a good thing I've got an executive access code.
Indeed. Make a hacking roll. I'll give you a +2 bonus.
I'm going to
That's scarf. It was a critical fail for a second, but it was 2s. +2 makes it 9. So, okay, you basically find yourself inside the alpha and beta section CPU. From here, you can see that from here you can actually that's where you could access the data general store, which doesn't appear to give you much, but yeah. Also, you can also see that there is an alarm counter that's been tracking your access around the system. Obviously, it's trusting it up to now. You've had all the right passes and everything. However, the accessing the CPU with the executive code does appear to have triggered a low-level alarm. But because you're actually inside the CPU, you can actually just nerf it.
I will nerf it.
So you basically reset the counters, basically, dropping the system back down to the alarms back down to 0 with no concern that you're on the system, that you're where you shouldn't be. And with your executive code, you'll probably find you can get around the system quite nicely, especially from the CPU. Waif.
I'm going. What was the guy's name that sent us, so I can explain to her?
Yes, it was Alan Bronson, wasn't it?
Alan Titchmarsh.
I'll tell her who sent us, and that, obviously they're not going to let her leave here of her own free will, so we're here to help her.
Alan Bronston, yeah.
Yeah, I'll tell her. Does she know of them? They know of her. That doesn't necessarily go both ways.
At the mention, when you mention Alan, her face brightens for a second, and then suddenly sort of falls slightly, not as if she's happy to hear that, happy to hear his name, and then obviously slightly concerned about the situation that and everything that's going on here, and having to face him. But then, if you recall, he wasn't very happy with. He wanted you to bring her there to account for what she's done. So she's probably thinking along the same lines. But she basically, the mention of she heard his name says, yes, he does deserve an explanation. When do we leave? Sorry, go for it.
I was just going to tell her that we've got a team in here. We're taking out the guards, and maybe she can talk to these children to convince them to come with us.
He goes, they were experimenting on children. Oh dear Lord. Pal.
I think Pow will just move to there. See if they need any support. So Merlin, I take it you're just going to shoot first, ask questions later. Don't hesitate. Oh, look at that support roll.
What's that giving Merlin a +2 on his shooting action? Is that your plan?
Shooting action if they come around the corner this time.
Which they will. Beulah, yes, the orc children are absolutely terrified. Less so when they see an orc face rather than a human face, but they still see they've obviously been not mistreated necessarily, but not had a very pleasant experience in here.
What would it be? A persuasion roll? Get them to calm down?
You could certainly give it a try, or you can, you can. If there's anything specific or anything you want to tell them, that may give you circumstantial bonuses, of course.
Absolutely. Well, I'd look at them and I'd say, because I do speak Orcish, right? So I would try speaking in Orcish, and I would tell them that we're here to help them and get them out of here, and that for them just to stay close to me, and I'll get them out of here safely.
Sounds good to me. Make your persuasion check. We'll give you a nice +1 on that. Funny enough, actually, I've just remembered something. Given the nature of where the metahumans came from, you don't actually have your own language because you basically are sort of metahumans, as it were. But I know what you meant. Yep, that's absolutely fine. You do basically the orcs do calm down with that, and one of them comes over and basically tries to take your hand, and then the others sort of start holding hands in a line behind.
I'll hold their hand. I got the shot club in one hand and the little kid in the other, and we're ready to go.
We're ready to go. Okay.
Let's get out of here.
I'm going to put Dr. Carol Owens and the orc children, and we're on to round number 2. Let's see what we get on the cards. So Merlin, you are on the Jack of Clubs. So technically, I suppose you'll need to go on hold, won't you?
Yeah, I took an action last time, so I'll have to go on hold now. So
no problem. Mr. Donahue, it looks like it's going to give
Wait a second. Shield just expired, so
it shouldn't have done. Sorry, it didn't give me a warning. It should have had 1 round left. There we go. Maybe I need to put it up to 2 then, after all. Yeah, because the protection didn't expire. Oh, you know why? Because it was on your turn.
Protection was me, so it's not going to expand until it gets to me.
Okay, so if I need to put protection on 2 and shield, I need to put shield on 2 for everyone else.
What do you mean, no you?
There we go. See, this is what happens when you try and cheat the system, isn't it? Mr. Donahue, sir.
No you.
What seems to be in data storage 10?
I have to be honest, not a lot. What does it say? Data storage 10.
No you.
Because you're off the CPU, is the
No
general
you.
data storage, apparently.
You want to see something funny?
Okay.
Something cool?
Um,
We'll find it.
I suspect it's not. Again, it's probably with the main file store, but of nothing of sort of interesting or important data. However, what I will say is because you're on the central CPU,
Sam
you are
playing
able
electric
to
guitar.
ascertain that. Here we go. Data store 1. When I can find it, there's 10. No, data store 1. Yeah. No, I meant the description for it. Apparently, is the seasonal system.
And then there's Sam and his and one of Charlie's mates.
Okay. Data store 2 is general records. Data store 3 is the specific project records. Data store 4 is the personal database. 5 is the general data store. 6 were the restricted files. All of those are under the section administration system. SPU4, well, you know about that, was the various security related files. SPU5.
Yeah, I'm not sure what they're playing there. Sounds like 2 days is going to be the day.
It has the backup files and the archive file data stores. And the other thing you notice there is
2 days going to be the day that I'm going to follow through in my pants.
SAN 1, which it basically appears to be heavily secure and firewalled, but apparently it will connect to the main as technology mainframe.
I've become magnetic now.
Obviously, back to their corporate headquarters.
I know you don't believe me, but listen to the mic.
Research lab, as it
I
were.
touch it, see, I'm magnetizing it. See the way my voice changes?
Okay.
From the central CPU.
Just from my magnetic hands interfering with the mic.
Mr. Bueller, sir, you hear over the comms, it sounds like
the screen melds and goes funny when I hands on it. See?
And you've got 6 little orc children all looking trustingly up at you.
My finger gets stuck to my nose while I do this. I'll stick it right out there, it gets stuck as well. 100% true.
No, that door to the south is the door to the. Do you remember that other door you couldn't open in beta section? This is the other side of the door.
And beta section is contaminated, so with the children in the dock here, we don't really want to open it.
All right, so we got to go all the way back, is what you're saying. Okay, so I'll take. I'm gonna leave. I'm gonna hold an action right here because they're safe in this. No one's gonna shoot them, and I've got an angle to take a shot. So I will hold an action to shoot the first adversary that I see coming. That I see.
No problem at all.
That's pretty much what I've done. I've got my rifle ready, aimed at that door.
So, where are we? That brings us to Pow.
I need to maintain a power here.
Power on Aki is about to expire. Why is it saying it's going to expire on Aki? Because he's at the top. Let's just say I'm going to say yes to the maintain, and then it's reset for everyone's. Yeah.
So spend 1 power point then.
6 power points is to maintain everyone, isn't it? It's 1 power point per person.
I will pay that guard gladly.
It's already paid it. It pays it automatically. That's the nice thing about it.
I thought it was 6 platinum pieces.
It's 46 platinum pieces. So yeah, protection maintained for 6 power points, but stuff to tail off my total. So there you go, paid.
Do you wish to go on hold, or do you wish to do anything now? Because obviously maintaining is just you powering it. It's a free action.
Free action. Well, in that case, I am going to go on hold.
Okay, security guard number 4 is going to run. Oh, he's he may well actually get round the corner first. No, I'm just going to move him to there. He's just not in line of sight, even after I sort of bumped his movement by a few inches. Quig, are you going on hold?
Yes.
Which you might. Quite sensible.
And hopefully that guard will get around the corner.
Well, he might not, but this one will. I'm going to move him the 6 inches to there, because I suspect before I get to move the other 5, which I will actually put on there to remind me, I suspect people are going to interrupt and stuff.
Oh yeah,
That's a security. So,
or you could wait for the rest of them to get around the corner.
Yeah, I'll take a 4.
I love that you talk because you got yourself targeted. You just caused yourself to critically fail. Don't worry, I'm ignoring the critical fail. I just find that very amusing. Okay, Quig got interesting 7-11. So it's athletics rather than agility. So Merlin, you got interesting actually. This security guard does have athletics, I just couldn't see it. Yep, okay, you get to interrupt in Merlin.
Okay. And I've got a +2 if I remember correctly.
You do indeed, because you were from the persuasion from Pow Pow. So as the guard comes charging around the corner, he gets shot. Hit with a raise. This guard comes charging around the corner and gets shot in the chest by an arrow, which wounds him. I will spend a Benny to see if his protective combat armor saves him from the arrow. We decide on running and vigor rolls for soaking, and it should apply. Yeah, I suppose so, because you're out of breath and stuff. Yep. So it doesn't do him any good. He basically comes charging around the corner and basically gets slammed to the floor hard.
Shot my ear off.
As he gets
yeah, he ends up sliding into that corner instead of running around it.
Exactly. Yeah. He literally carries on and smacks it. Probably hits the floor and crumples.
When was that from? He
He
shot my ear off.
up against that
Outlaw
wall.
Josie Wells, is
If
it?
anyone else wishes to act, feel free to interrupt. Otherwise, it's wife, and it will be the end of the turn when she ends her go. You see, which hence the fact.
Waif is
Quig
just going
was going to charge.
Sorry. After Quig, then. Yeah, Quig wants to interrupt, so Quig will interrupt. Well, you don't actually have to interrupt. You just come off hold, but you know what I mean. Oh dear, that's going to be an impressively good run.
That old troll can move when he wants to.
Straight into a brick wall.
Indeed. Yes, you can't cut corners anymore, people. You have to run around them.
I got to zoom in. Am I within range, or do I have to go still around?
No. That's it. You get to there, and basically the security guard is running down the corridor as you literally appear around the corner, and you can almost you can hear the squeal of his shoes on the floor as he desperately tries to stop. That's a hit with a raise. I'm not even going to attempt to soak that.
How far back did I throw him with that sweep?
Oh, let's see. Let's have a go. Oh yeah. Look. Oh, do you know what? I don't care. It's meant to be cinematic, so it can explode. He lands there. A full 20 feet, you knock him back. Now, which is a bit far-fetched. Yeah, about 6. You'll knock him back 12
He's a
feet.
troll, isn't he? He's a bit large and strong.
20 feet. So you literally, the guy will literally fly back until he hits the wall. Then he bounces off it and then hits that wall, and that's probably where he ends up.
Doesn't he not bowl and kill all the rest of the security guards for us?
Well, nobody does skip
the corridor is clear up here.
As far as we knew, there were only 2 guards on patrol. A bunch of them we tied up and incapacitated already. So unless they're sending in reinforcements, and that's highly probable that they got a call off for reinforcements, we need to get moving.
Great hustle.
Dr. Carol Owens at this point agrees with you. Goes, couldn't agree more. We need to get moving. And she basically comes charging out the corridor. Goes, right. If we get through beta section, and there's a quick way out, and she starts rushing downwards.
I'm gonna run up and tell her because should be my turn. Tell her, yeah, we don't want to go through beta section. They let something loose in there, and the whole place is contaminated. We can get out through the air vents. They have the corridors clear ahead of us. Just stay behind.
You don't understand. You don't understand. We have to get into beta section to get the metavirus. Otherwise, they can do this all again.
Didn't we already get it?
Well, yes, you did. But are you going to tell her that?
I think we should.
Yeah, I'm gonna. If she's the scientist involved, I tell her that's already taken care of. We were sent back after you and then I look over there and those children. We need to get them out of here.
Yeah, all I want to do is come down to Mr. Merlin here. Oh no, that isn't how it's going to work. How am I meant to make this work? So if I go to Beulah and then go down. Oh, do you know what? I think we're just going to say, Merlin, the powers will expire because you're not going to get attacked on the way out. I'm just trying to work out how the hell I do that. Okay, you basically pointing out that you have let's unlock tokens. Pointing out that you already have the metavirus and that you don't want to go into beta section. She goes, well, how do you propose we get out of here? Lead on.
The same way we got in. Stay behind us. Beulah, keep the kids behind you just in case reinforcements show up. We'll start moving as fast as we can because we're not being stealthy now.
This is intriguing. An interesting effect of it would appear that I can't hold down. You know how you can hold down shift to move NPCs through maps? What I've realised is you can sort of do some interesting stuff with a group of NPCs.
Yeah, Beulah needs to be ahead of the kids. Beulah, catch up here. These kids are hanging on to you or they're dragging you, one or the other.
I'll move him up to there. I was just moving the kids for ease of speed.
I saw it. I was kind of waiting. There's so many things going on. I was just waiting for
everybody look out for a power pill before the ghosts arrive.
Okay, I get that.
Well, I was also waiting for my turn, so I wasn't going to start moving tokens until.
Sorry, I did unlock tokens. Don't worry about it. I completely understand. I didn't actually make that quite clear.
I'm heading. All right. Once they started their retreat, I head for SPU 5.
Okay, so yeah, you've got time to do that. You head to SP5. Okay, SP5 is your last chance. SP5 is standard access because it's a secondary research subprocessor.
It has data storage 8 and 9, which has their projects and their archived projects.
Indeed, where the backups and their archives, yeah.
And Quig can probably just lift these kids up into the air vent.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no problem.
Those are mine now.
Where's the dock? Because we want one of us to go ahead, just in case we run into anything there. But then we want the dock and the kids in between us.
I'm at the head already.
I completely forgot about the dock. There's the dock. There's the dock. I'll put the dock with you. In fact, if I make them all green, I think you guys can move them, can't you?
You can move the dock.
So you can get them out yourselves. Okay, so standard hacking to access the SPU5. And then what do you want to do with the data files?
They're mine. I copy them.
You've got enough. Yeah, you've got enough time to copy the files and get back to, obviously, get yourself back to SPU4 and disconnect when the rest before everyone else has climbed up into the vent. I'll be nice. So you're able to cleanly leave without having to dump shock yourself just to back into the real world, and we'll put you on the same map as everyone else who appears to be clambering out the vents.
We're clambering out the vents. We're clambering out the vents.
So basically, you get back outside. I won't worry too much about the vent, getting you all through the vents. Oh, that's a lovely selection of NPCs. In fact, let's just do if I just do a mass selection, what I've discovered is you can do some interesting stuff. You can oh, interesting, the walls don't seem to matter anymore.
So you're going to mass selection?
Yeah,
Just until we get to the last wall.
Yeah. What I've discovered is you can actually sort of do some interesting stuff, and do you know what I mean? Get people through doors and stuff with it. Even with the mass selection, it's quite amusing. I can't get Quig out there, and there you are.
I thought you moved the tokens. We can still move the tokens anyway.
I know, but I'm just saying.
Back in a second.
Move them back.
Just do that. Okay. So you basically get back outside. The orc that was waiting for you before, forgotten her name, she's still waiting for you. She's surprised to see the children and very happy that you've recovered them. And you arrive back at Wilhelm Park, but through a different entryway than the first time. And your guide leads you directly to Alan Bronstein. Fixing his eyes on Carol Owens, he says, "Dr. Owens, I am ashamed." Owens seems taken aback for the moment, perhaps by her surroundings, perhaps by the orc's tone. She says nothing. "You had such bright dreams for our future, Carol," he continues, "yet you threw it away for a research grant." His eyes seem hard and cold, much darker than you've seen them before. The other orcs around him remain silent. Dr. Owen straightens herself up and stares directly at Bronstein. "You don't know what you're talking about." Bronstein smiles thinly. "No," he says. "Would you like me to rattle off the mapping codes for the mutagene spiral, Carol? The sequence is a little old, so you may have updated it by now." Her face pales and her hands clutch reflexively at her chest. "Alan," she says, "you've done horrible things, Karen. I want you to give me one good reason why I shouldn't have you shot." If anyone wishes to interject, feel free to do so.
Because that would be mean.
That might not make Quig happy.
Wayful step in there and go, wait a minute, we brought your kids back, okay? You sent us in there to save this lady. We did that. Now, we're not going to stand here and watch somebody that we just risk our lives to rescue get killed. Just not happening. And she's at really bad persuasion, so.
I hate to point out, there seems to be quite a lot of orcs hanging around the place, so it might not go too well if you decide to find it, obviously. But obviously, you can certainly try and make your persuasive check on that one. If anyone else wishes to assist,
Quig would like to support with that. Not that she's going to need it, I guess. But
it really depends, actually. So obviously, the more support, the better.
Yeah, I'll try and support her by looking supportish. I'm sure it's going to work though. Oh, look at that! Worked. I flexed.
Well, indeed. Okay, that makes it.
Grips his broom a little bit tighter.
That makes it a 6. That makes it an 8.
In actual fact, can I cast a spell? Cast empathy on them.
Empathy enables you to feel their feelings, not the other way around.
That's all right, I know, but then I know what do you say? It's a +1 to persuasion.
You can certainly cast persuasion on. You could. What is the trapping on your spell casting? Out of interest.
Cat, but the trapping's just summon catnip. But it's just.
Fair enough then. That's okay.
Um,
No, it's because it really depends. Because obviously, if you're standing there going, "By the powers of this, that, and the other, I do this and compel you," then they may take offence and stop you. Is what I was trying to get at. But if it's something as simple as sort of muttering something quietly while licking some catnip, then obviously they won't necessarily realise what you're doing.
It's going all to hell because
I'll know his emotional state and basic surface stats.
Indeed.
And then so it might be able to, if it goes into a second round of persuasion, I might be able to say, by the way, you need to say this to him.
Yeah, go for it. What you definitely get out of him is that he has no intention of really having her killed. It seems to be he's trying to rattle her more than anything. Likewise, however, Waif's persuasion of Queegs and everything else does basically make him hold up his hands in a placating manner to try and dissuade from any violence required. She does. You do convince him to calm down a bit. He's obviously also get the feeling that he was a little more he was a little more emotionally angry. He was almost surprised a bit at the anger when he finally saw him as well. But with your placations, Waif and Queeg and Aki helping, he does basically give Octavius time to shake her head violently and then explain the situation. And what she explains is that as technology brought in Peter Hoff to develop alternatives to her virus she was researching, the goal of the research had always been towards finding beneficial uses for the virus, and she strongly opposed Peter Hoff's work. But if you remember, Peter Hoff blamed her for everything. She's the tailor, as in she created the virus in the first place. When she learned that he was kidnapping sewer dwellers for raw genetic material, she complained loudly to As Technology. Instead of disciplining Peter Hoff, they responded by sending in a fixer's not the right word. I'm trying to think the right terminology. Persuader, I think we'll call it, to intimidate her research team into cooperating. The corporate persuader type. The viral incident occurred shortly after that, and from what she's gathered from you guys and the other stuff, beta section was completely sealed off from alpha, which in turn had been isolated from the remainder of the facility. At that point, Sanchez, who was locked in his office and therefore couldn't get out, it was him who had the executive order. Yeah, knee breaking would work as well. Ordered Owens thrown into detention, acting on Peter Hoff's word that she was somehow responsible for the accident, and there she remained until you rescued her. So ultimately, Bronstein seems to be placated on his annoyance and angers, and says, "Well, it definitely seems that what we need. I think the safest thing is that no one can get their hands on this virus." At this point, I don't believe any of you have told him you've got it, and Carol doesn't certainly seem to imply that. He goes, "I think the safest thing is if they've lost it in their event and they can't get it back, then we might need to go back in and destroy any variant of that virus." At that point, he looks at you lot, goes, "You may need to have to go back to beta section and make sure the virus is destroyed." What do you, as anyone, say to that?
And expose ourselves further?
Well, yes, but given everything that's going on, well, indeed, he goes, I would have hoped I would hope that you may have come across it when you were in there the first time, but if that virus is still in there and still viable, then we need it destroyed.
If we pool our resources, can we get a small tactical nuke?
You could probably get some. You probably well, yes, but the problem is, yes, you logically speaking, I'd suspect you probably could get something along those lines, but it would take time, and that's the one thing you probably don't have. Of course, you just lied to him and told him you destroyed it. Don't forget. Or you can give it to him. I mean, you've got it after all.
No, we're not handing it over to anybody because we see what this thing can do. We're going to make sure it gets destroyed. Although this doctor here can probably recreate it because she created it in the first place, no doubt.
Well, indeed, but he says, "Are you going to?" So, well, I mean, if you hand over the virus to him, you get the impression that he wouldn't be using. The problem he has with the virus is its whole purpose. At the moment, apart from the issue you've got is the virus. Obviously, if it's misused, obviously causes those unfortunate mutations you saw in the other place. Then you've got those human racial purist nut jobs who want to use the virus to reverse the genetic changes in any non-humans to make them human again. And then obviously, then you got Carol Owens, who invented the virus to enable selective reprogramming of DNA to remove deformities, disabilities, and other stuff like that. So it's quite an ethical dilemma on who you want to leave it with, if anyone. But if Donahue did nab all their research data and their backups, if you can point that out, that they've got no copy of their electronic data. And obviously, it's up to you what you want to tell them about where the virus is, or what you've done with the virus or haven't done with the virus.
Didn't somebody else pay us to come in here and get the virus and the data?
Indeed, you got half the money up front, and the other half, you were meant to be going to see this chap when obviously all the fun and games started. So.
Crossing the money guy, given what we do for a living, probably isn't in our ethical system.
Sure it is.
Well, I'm a little concerned.
Well, we didn't
No,
cross anyone.
it's-
We went to deliver as promised, and then these lunatics come out of the woodwork, started shooting, didn't they?
Somebody knows we
just
got
say
it.
they failed. I mean, they
I'm
gave
just
us half the
thinking,
money up
I'm
front,
getting
just say,
something
sorry,
wrong
we
here.
failed.
This doesn't make sense.
It may have been set up, but we don't have enough information to know whether that's true or not yet.
Oh, sorry, I tell a lie. All he wants is them to have no access to it. So the fact that you've got all the data and got the virus will make him happy. He basically just says, "I think, Carol, there is much that you can do to help us here. I think you should stay with us and educate the children for a better future." Carol sort of looks up as if there's a sense of redemption. She doesn't even seem upset at that prospect. However, whether you guys want to leave her here is up to you. In the meantime, Alan,
I'm going to make Carol fall in love with me using that card.
You're going to make Carol fall in love on you.
Yep.
I'm certainly going to have to go remember how to edit this deck and get rid of these annoying cards.
Well, it doesn't mean she's going to... It says eventually. It doesn't mean she instantly falls in love. Yeah.
No, I know. That does mean you're going to have to keep coming back to the sewers to see her, because she's going to be staying here with the orcs. So, okay.
Right. I like the sewers.
So, okay, what will happen then is... okay, so
There'll be a plot hook.
Indeed. Now I'm just thinking about that one. So I'm just trying to work this one out. Owens, I thought I had it fixed, but then I'm thinking about this. It doesn't make sense. I liked it for everything up until this point. Remember the first part of the so if you insert here we are. During the run for section, the oxygen raid the fire hands. Okay. So Bronstein. Okay, so it looks like Bronstein does. I'm not entirely sure. So he's very upset about this virus and everything else. But then basically, he's still going to basically tell you where to meet your contact and get paid. So obviously, he's okay with, which doesn't make sense. But anyway, maybe he thinks without Carol Owens, they won't be able to do a lot with it. I'm going to go with that. Maybe that's the issue. So Bronstein explains that while you were doing your run against Alpha Section, Bronston and some of Orcs staged a raid against the Hansa Five. They were the racial the genetic racial purists, and they've managed to rescue Mr. Naka. I forgot his name again. Mr. Nakamusa. Yes, I've lost him.
Nakazumi.
Nakazumi. Thank you. I always want to say something. I always think it's something very similar, but it isn't. Yeah, rescued Mr. Nakazumi, and Bronston orders basically nods at one of the orcs, and a rather bedraggled looking Mr. Nakazumi comes in. You can tell he looks like he's been roughed up a bit, but he is wearing bandages and appears to have been looked after once he was rescued. A smile appears on his face when he sees all of you standing there. Alan then basically gives you a slip of paper. How wonderfully retro. Basically gives you the address of a biogen safe house. Here we go. He tells you that he trusts Biogen not to create monsters and to use the metavirus for positive ends. Bronstein also informs you that he's been in contact with Biogen and that a Mr. Johnson will meet you at the safe house.
Isn't Johnson the guy that hired us?
Indeed.
Every guy that's hired us.
But basically, what he's done, what Alan's done is while you've been out and stuff, he's kept his side of the word. You've got Carol out. You've destroyed as technology's access to the virus. He's now basically he's obviously got contacts here and there, and obviously a couple of feeders here and there himself. He knows where he's arranged another meeting for you and Mr. Johnson, seeing as the original courier you were meant to drop it off with
Hardly out of sync, isn't it?
had an accident, didn't he?
Anymore.
He just needs to provide us with a guide to get to the safe house.
He'll provide you with a he will provide you with a guide to lead you to the edge of the sewers closest to the safe house, and from there you're on your own, which of course he will do. So your orc guide leads you through the tunnels for a few more hours and passages. So we'll call it a couple of hours for PowerPoint recovery purposes. And eventually you see a shaft of light that leads you out into a sump along the edge of the Barrens. From here, the safe house is only a few streets away through ruined buildings and abandoned lots, but still not far. So the orc gets you to the house, does a quick scout around, assures you that everything seems in order. In fact, you actually looking up, you do see the same driver who met you originally and drove you to meeting Mr. Johnson, waving down at you from the window of the safe house. The orc hands you a set of keys, which will basically unlock the doors to the safe house, which apparently were provided by Mr. Johnson. And with a parting smile, he trudges off into the night, whistling some nameless tune. Soon he is lost from sight, and you are able to enter the apartments.
Okay, we go in and go upstairs, I guess.
Okie dokie. Apartment. And let's see who. Well, Aki always likes going first, doesn't he?
Yes.
I'll put Quig behind Aki, and then we'll put Merlin behind Quig. This is just as I'm taking you, and then we'll put Waif, and we'll put Beulah, and we'll put Donahue towards the tail end, with Pow Pow at the very back, because I'm. There we go.
So this guy works for Biogen.
Indeed.
What do they do particularly?
Oh, I can't remember that. I'm gonna have to go back to the start. Just another court by Biogen court. What do they do? I can't remember. They were the guys that hired you.
Oh, we didn't know that until now.
No, you didn't know that until now. Oh, that's a good point. I didn't realise. Yeah, it would appear that.
Oh wait, we don't need to collect the pay from him. I got the chit off the guy, the elf that got killed.
We don't know if that's safe or not. That's why I'm.
There's something up with that chip, isn't there?
Yeah. Trap or not.
I just realised I need something, and I've lost it.
Johnson and the driver might have already been captured and they're just waiting for us to turn up. They were bait.
You have a healthy paranoia. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just saying it's healthy to have that level of paranoia.
It's not paranoia if they're really trying to kill you.
Well, very much so. Yeah, couldn't agree more. What are the standards? The standards are athletics, common knowledge, notice, aren't they? Persuasion. What's the other one you get for free? Athletics, common knowledge, notice, stealth. Thank you. They're the standard 5. And then I just need driving because he's a driver. There we go. And then I need a token for him. That will suffice. And I can put him up here where you saw him waving at the window. Oh, no, that really isn't the way to do that because that makes him part of the artwork. I need to actually put him on the map, which means I have to incapacitate him because I can't click anything. And then I can put him on the map. There we go. Okay. Tokens should be unlocked. There we go. Feel free to move around freely.
I'm gonna look for like a security system.
It's very rundown apartment block. The odds are there isn't anything in that regards. Okay. You'll probably find you'll probably find personal Wi-Fi ports, but that's about it. You know what I mean? Personal, but civilian Wi-Fi, you know, but access points, not necessarily very secure ones either. But no, other actual sort of proper security stuff. No, as you can see, it's a.
Is this a lift block?
Sorry.
Is that a lift?
Yeah, it looks like a couple of lifts.
That's a lift to your. Yeah, that would be a lift to your south. Well, there's 2 lifts to you. Those are both lifts. Yes.
Yeah, sorry, that's a lift block.
Yeah. So obviously one of them I've locked because actually if you open it, you'd end up in a lift shaft, which I should have made as a pit actually. So if anyone opened it, but you can open the other one and see an empty lift. Yes. But for some reason, UK, you basically, I sent you up the stairs because I could make you all fit in there. It was easier. Obviously, the basically the room, the each apartment's numbered, and from here the apartment does continue southwards, but from the numbering, that's the door you want on the left hand side to the north. You can hopefully see the green glow from it. Just
Aki's probably going to go first.
he always does.
I'm going to stay
Aki
around
opens the
corner.
door. You can see Wendell Holmes staring from where he waved to you from the window. Room is empty apart from him.
Hello, Mr. Holmes.
Wendell, please. Mr. Johnson should be joining us shortly. Please take a seat. There are refreshments if you want them. Mr. Donohue's just decided to examine the bed and the bathroom.
I had a peek too, so.
There's
Make sure
always
they're
that
empty.
one guy that needs.
I'm going to pull out a table for them, put my feet on it, and sit down with my legs on in front of me.
Okie dokie.
Oh,
Sorry,
I
what was
know,
that, Bueller? I didn't hate that.
Oh, I said there's always that one guy that goes to the can first off, right?
Yeah,
Every
Pow's got
bathroom.
there.
He heads to the head, yeah.
Every restaurant, every house, every apartment the guy goes into, that's the first place he goes.
He has to check himself in the mirror. Come on, this is Pow we're talking about.
Yeah, you get busted. Yeah, I'm looking at the mirror.
Wendell
Crap
heads
from
over
the
to
stores.
actually, Donohue's already beaten Wendell to the fridge area, it would appear. But
Actually, Cyberpunk is famous for bathrooms ever since 2 seconds. Remember that?
so if you open the door to the refrigerator unit, you find it has a complete selection of beverages in there, all chilling nicely.
Armpits. Are you still there, Metallical, my old chap?
Wendell was walking up to get some drinks out, but Donahue got there first. Waif appears to be standing in the hallway.
For Johnson to show up.
Okay.
She's more paranoid than
I'll
the rest of these
I'll
guys.
send you a couple of links on Discord.
Wendell heads over to the fridge and says, "Can I get anyone a beer?"
Did it have it's got a balcony though, isn't it?
Well,
There's always that guy too, the one that just starts, giving himself the tour.
There's a window over there if you want to look at. I must admit, the perspective on this, because there's no windows on the left side, it's really a shame because there's lovely drops on the left-hand side, but you can't see them. At the end of this,
No, I was just commenting. I'm staying in the bathroom looking at my face self in the mirror, but I'm just commenting that the window opens. I noticed that the window opened.
There isn't a window on that side. No. The windows are over there. I even drew them in so you can look out at them. Ironically, they really wanted a window on this side, but there isn't one. Anyway, so Wendell asks, does anyone want a beer?
Big is good.
Okay. Wendell basically walks back and sort of basically, I don't know, the chairs have to be this chair. Then, well, no, he sits himself on this chair here, and activates his tablet there, and looks down at it, and you see him basically
stops himself bleeding out.
Sends you see him sort of basically obviously sends some status report indicating that you're here, and he says just rating on an ETA for Mr. Johnson. You see him looking at the screen, and some text pops up. He goes, should be 5 minutes. Okay. Waif, you hear the ding of the lift.
Well, I'm standing here like trimming my nails while I wait because I'm just waiting. I might yell to the room, somebody's.
Oops.
And you had time to get PowerPoints back, correct?
You had 2 hours, yeah.
Okay.
At which point the lift doors open. And from where you are, you can see.
I've got to comb my hair. I mean, we went through a vent trunking, so I've got to stay in the back.
Is that a weird science combing your hair, or a...
No, I've got to comb my hair. We went through a vent trunk, for God's sake. You know, I've got to dust myself off.
I look like that looks like a counter there, so I'm behind there so I can duck for cover.
Okay, can I have a notice check from Donahue and Waif? I don't know if you can see, but you could basically from where you are, you should be able to see the lift doors have opened and there's somebody in the lift.
I yelled back into the room that somebody's coming, and I stepped back a little bit because I don't trust these guys.
Okay.
And
Wendell is not bleeding out. However, what happens is suddenly Wendell dives off his chair, knocking it prone, which does cause everyone else in the room, except for Donahue, who saw Wendell basically get off the chair and then kick the chair over. But it makes the rest of you turn round and look in the opposite direction, which you have a horrible feeling might have been a ploy. But at that point, you hear basically you hear the very distinctive sound of mechanical servos moving.
And Waif told us something's coming. So yeah.
Indeed. Queeg, you have the Joker, and Pow Pow have a Joker.
Woohoo!
So with Waif, because Waif waited outside, you weren't surprised even when Donahue tried to distract you all, because Waif told you I'm not having any of you be having to roll for distraction. But Queeg, you get to go first. But you hear that definite
Yeah.
noise of.
Well, okay, help me out with this because I don't know why I'm looking through a wall, but I can see two of them.
You're looking through a wall because of the interesting perspective of the 3D walls to the way I drew the lines. So as far as I'm concerned, what you're actually doing is you're looking through an open door to a door that has just opened. If you can see them, you can see them because the door's opened and you can see them coming out. Yeah. Again, they're emblazoned with As Technology logos.
They're at it again, these lot.
Well, don't forget, these is their labs you've been stealing all the tech from.
Oh, I see another one up the north by Waif as well. They're coming from all sides.
It's in the hall. She knows they're coming, and she yelled back to you that they're coming, but she didn't trust the setup from the beginning.
Am I close enough to get them both there?
Yes, you are.
And Joker's Wild gives me +2, right?
It does. It will factor that in. Yes.
Yeah, it's already applied.
Yep. So yep, that's like Wild Swing.
Go for it. So you're going wild, are you? Yep. Nice. Are you sweeping, perchance?
Yes. Yes.
Thought you might. Why is it not letting me help you, Tom?
We're being attacked.
Terminator 2. Terminator. Okay, you've targeted Terminator and Terminator 2. Sweep away. You hit both of them with raises. Okay. You dispatch As Technology Terminator with 4 wounds. You get to roll for the second one. And 3 wounds. I don't think I'm going to be able to soak either of those enough, so I'm just going to have them both die.
Sorry to hear that.
You killed the robots.
Yep.
Now, why am I showing a movement of 3 all the way over there?
I do not know.
That is a strange bug that's been occurring recently.
To my mind, you rolled an 11 for your run, and I think you've moved about, I think it was 9 inches. So you've still got 2 more inches of movement if you wish so to move. Right, Mr. Pow Pow, sir.
See, you waited too long, so I hit it too.
I did indeed. Sorry, I was the opposite.
Oh, this is tricky. This because you got power points for everybody.
We're in the toilet. You can just hide.
I am actually going to go on hold.
Okie dokie. Beulah, you can hear the sound of mechanical footsteps and then the clunkers of collapsing drones that you come to associate with Queeg explaining stuff to drones and robots.
Push comes to shove, we can always go for the balcony.
Oh, Beulah dives over the counter.
Oh, look at that! I just rolled it. I just spent an action card to roll a new thing and got on a choker. I know, I really love it, but we need as many bennies as we can get. I'll wait until Beulah's finished. It's all right.
Sorry, Mr. Beulah. So I assume you're diving over the counter as you go that way.
I am, and I was going to try and take a look at our boy here that got dropped and see if he's still alive or if there's any way I could.
Oh, Wendell, he's carrying under the thing. He's very shocked when you appear next to him. His tablet on the floor saying, "They have arrived. Move in now." Oh, sorry. You can see a text. Sorry. No, the tech. You see, he sent a message saying they have arrived, and then the reply being, "Dispatching termination team now," and that seems to be the last text you got. Oh, the other thing you notice is from where you are that he appears to be using an As Technology chat corporate chat system.
All right, then I'm going to hit this guy with my club.
Be my guest. Seven. You hit him with a raise, so that's a vigor check at -2, which I'll do in a second. I just want to put cover on Donahue because he died behind the counter. Wendell is down here, so that would be a vigor check at -2. He fails horribly and he's already prone, but now he's stunned as well. Basically, there's a and he basically loses consciousness.
And I have cover. Is that correct?
You do have cover. Yes, you have cover from unless someone physically stands there. You have cover, assuming you stay ducked down behind the counter. That is. Wait.
Well, yeah.
Waif's gonna step around the corner because she heard the elevator door open.
Yeah.
And she's gonna take a shot on the one stepping out of the elevator.
In case anyone's asking, Donahue, I think Donahue's got the Otto card, which means everyone gets an extra adventure card, but I get to screw you over even more.
Oh, yeah, I played that on before. It's quite a good card, isn't it?
No, it's a nightmare for me.
And we play additional cards. So it's not just an extra card; it's 2 adventure cards per session.
I shook this one. Oh hell, I'm gonna re-roll the damage because I got lots of bennies here.
Oh, they have subtly changed it. Each player draws an extra card for the adventure deck and may play an additional card this session. Sometime soon, the party is subject to a strong and dangerous attack. Okay, yeah, I'll remember that. By all means, play it. So I don't have to hit you today. That's quite nice. They've changed it in that regard, so it's not so bad as I remember that card. Okay, so you basically shoot. I'm going to see if I can soak 2 wounds. I've got a few bennies. Oh, I really can't.
He's gonna duck around the corner.
Okay. Yeah, duck around the corner. brings us to Mr. Donahue. If you want to play the card, play the card, sir.
You need to stick me on hold.
I'll stick you on hold then.
Thank you.
Okay, that means I get to give everyone an extra card. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. So that's an extra adventure card to everyone.
Right.
I tried to think what I just gave everyone. I'm panicking.
Now look at my adventure card that you just gave me.
We'll play it if you want. Seriously, why not? Why not? Let's have fun. Let's just see how quickly you can ridiculously break the system today. There's no limit to don't forget there's no limit unless the card says when and where you can play it. There's no limit to there's no restriction when you play a card if you want to play it.
No, if you want to be a truly evil GM, I had a truly evil GM that if we were going to break the game with adventure cards, he house ruled it where the GM got adventure cards too, wild cards.
Yeah.
The new card he gave me is reinforcements, which does pretty much the exact same thing as uh-oh.
How we started this adventure.
Reinforcements for us.
No, it's not. You all get an extra adventure card, but the bad guys get reinforcements.
Right. Okay.
Anyway,
anyway, I saw you moving across.
Anyways, I'll move over. I will take his tablet and I'll shoot him in the head.
Fair enough. Go for it. Bit hard to question, Mark.
Just a question: does anybody have that bargain?
No, I've got Saints and Martyrs, which gives 2d6 arcane points back to everyone who's got arcane powers.
I forgot to put cold shot on his head.
Doesn't matter. You still hit him. You'd have missed with a cold shot, ironically. You still got the drop, so just shoot him anyway.
Julie's now covered in brains.
Yep, that's the end of Wendell Holmes.
Thus the traitors.
He's bleeding out.
For a massive hole in his head.
I think that should be brain leaking out.
Indeed. I think I can see 2 targets, so let's go 1 target, 2 targets, open fire. Queeg is hit and Waif is hit.
Where did he come from?
His machine gun fast sprays the corridor. Oh dear. Queeg is wounded. Waif is unharmed.
Is that a new one? Not the one that Waif killed or shot?
Yeah, that's a new one.
This one came up the stairs.
Oh, we can't stay. I didn't see him, so that's right. I can't see him from in a room, and that's fair enough.
Indeed, it's very hard to see.
Can't see through walls. Big man can't see through lead.
To make the shaft a pit, so if anyone wants to fall down the shaft, they can.
You taking that wound, Quig?
Yep.
Quig is wounded. Okay. This could get quite
tough
messy.
for a little bitty girl.
This could get quite messy, quite fast.
Behind you, Waif.
Waif is shot at again from behind, however, only hit once. And again, her armor protects her as she's shot in the back. I wasn't expecting anyone to be out of the corridor. So unfortunately, I only
I'll
get one
interrupt that, in fact.
You should have known how paranoid Waif is. She tends to set up lookout while the others deal with stuff.
Okay, make your athletics check.
No, I'm on a joker.
So you are. I do apologise. You automatically succeed. You automatically succeed in your interrupt. I was talking to Pow Pow rather than you, Waif. Don't worry about it. You didn't need to make an athletics check, Waif.
That's all right. I think I failed it anyway.
And then we're going to come. We're going to summon a spirit friend, a woodland spirit friend.
Okay.
Outside into the corridor. Just wait a minute, smarts. Maybe I might have to run here.
Oh, I just did a smarts on you. You got D8 smarts, haven't you? Oh no, D6 smarts.
Yeah, D6 smarts. It'll reach. Yeah, it'll reach just outside. It'll reach to the doorway. That's it. That's the basic thing I wanted. So let's see if summon ally worked then. Didn't get the raise, but it succeeded. So do you put it in the combat tracker, or did I drag it to the combat tracker?
What, the Woodland Spirit?
Aye.
I've already put one. I've already added one to the combat tracker. Oh, it's arrived.
How do you add it to it so it goes under Pow Pow?
You drop right. What you have to do is, this is the only annoying thing, is you can't drag it from the ally sheet to the combat tracker. You have to open the NPC and then drag the opened NPC to the combat tracker. And if you're using 5.3, you drop it on the card.
And it adds it, so it goes under Pow Pow's thing, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, 5.3 will be released soon, won't it? So
5.3 is in test mode, unless you do. 5.3 is in test mode at the moment. Yeah.
Unless you hack it like you do.
Or you hack it like I do, which you can't. Which, unless you're myself at Aki or someone at SmiteWorks, I don't think anyone else can hack it like I do. I'm afraid.
You hacker.
Well, no, it's because obviously.
Yeah, I know you got a dev thing in here.
I've got access to the actual XML files, so it's just a folder sitting on. I literally just copied the entire folder that the rule set would be in, that you would get as a DAT file. I just copy that and dump it in my rule sets, and then it overrides. It's interesting how it works. So, as an aside here, quickly. So what happens with the nowadays is you've got in the vault are the .dat files. So they're sort of the lowest level of priority. If you then have a file that's the same as the vault file in your extensions or your modules or your rule sets, that will override the vault, if that makes sense. So a .pack file or a .mod file or a .ext file will override a vault. If you have a folder in your rule sets or your modules or your extensions, that will override the file. So so a folder, then an extension file or a mod file or a pack file, and at the very lowest level of priority is the .dat file in the vault. So that's how Fantasy Grounds lets you override things, which is useful because it means you can do things like this if you've got the files.
Yeah, you haven't got to compile it every time you want to use it either. You can just test it live, can't you?
Yeah, basically. Yeah. So there we go. The most ironic thing about the because of the way I do it, the most ironic thing about using the swell tool is obviously when you compile it, it compiles it as a mod file, and then I have to basically turn the mod file into a zip file and extract the files to put them in the folder. Is because obviously normally what you normally want is a module file, and that's fine, but I actually need to have it as files to upload it, so I end up having an extra step, but that's my problem. Anyway, Pow Pow, you have successfully summoned a woodland spirit which has appeared in the doorway, and as you say, I am Groot.
Right, well, this is still going to roll under the wrong skill and where the tab set up. I'm sitting there thinking, oh my god, that's the wrong skill here on the character sheet.
It isn't it? I don't know why it isn't, but it's really annoying.
Well, I know, right. But what he was going to do was he was going to shout, "I am Groot," and cast fear onto the person that was just about. He interrupted.
I see what the problem is.
Oh, and he only got a 1.
I finally worked out what the problem is with the NPCs.
You've made them too powerful.
No, with the spirit. I've been trying to work it out, and I've been looking in the wrong place, maybe. But if I go into Fantasy Grounds Unity into extensions,
come on, roll a bloody 4.
I see what went wrong with Sprawlrunners. Not in general, just today. Brilliant. Okay. Yeah, what's happened is I think I'll have to look at the files, and I basically start. They don't. It looks like I haven't left gifted as an allowed power, because spirits are meant to be gifted, aren't they? So.
So yeah, he goes in. The forest spirit appears. It shouts, "I am Groot," and it casts fear on the person he's just interrupted.
Okay,
so
fine.
He has to make a fright check to see if he flees instead of shooting.
Okay. Right, fine. They're immune to fear.
Oh,
because they're robots.
Yeah, I'm afraid they're immune to fear. I'm afraid so. It was a good call, but alas.
Oh no! Wave's been riddled with bullets.
Afraid so. I think this. I've just basically.
I could interrupt if you want and come down here.
You can joke up too.
You can. Well, you can interrupt if you want to. Okay, the first one shakes you. Damage shakes you. The second one shakes you, which will be a wound. Let me do the third one now.
But if I was to interrupt, I could jump before that shot, couldn't I? And then
I will allow you. Well, technically speaking, yes, I suppose. Yeah, as it were. So as it stands at the end of all of this, as it stands without any soaks, Waif will still be alive, just on 3 wounds. Aki, you interrupt.
I can't soak.
Yeah, of course you can soak. But I think they tried to stop you actually getting shot in the first place.
Aki's going to interrupt. And then if this all fails, I'll still do something evil.
I'm going to do that, run down here and just use my gun and start shooting these. Oh, I think I've got to go there so I can see them both.
Well, it's number 6 is the one that's shot Waif up. But if you only want to put one there, what I'm trying to say, if you kill number 6, then you basically kill it before Waif gets shot, and then she doesn't need to spend any bennies to soak the damage. But if you don't kill it, Waif still gets shot, and then she will have to keep spending bennies to soak the damage. Is basically what I'm saying.
Okay.
or we play an adventure card and something really bad happens.
Exactly. And I'll give you your Benny back if you don't need to spend it, Waif, basically. So you
hit him once.
You hit him once.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you happy with that?
Well, I might Benny it and see if I can do some more damage. No, I'm not happy with that. Oh, you. Okay, one more Benny.
With the Joker bonus as well.
Okay, the wound, right, got him.
Okay, you shoot him and you wound him. Okay, at which point he is an extra. He still opens fire and he still riddles Waif with bullets. I'm afraid they're resilient. Okay, so Waif, you've spent one, but you've soaked the 2 wounds. Do you want to soak the other wound? Oh, actually, no, you're fine. The net result of that is actually you're shaken. that's really clever because obviously, yeah, you spend a Benny because you successfully soaked the 2 wounds. You're no longer shaken, so then the other one, which was only a shaken, but it was wounding you because you were shaken, just becomes shaken again. I like it. Merlin.
Okay, Merlin hears commotion, obviously. He will. That kind of looks like a couch. Can I just jump over that couch to get to this corner?
Yes, there's 2 steps up, but yes, I don't see why not because you can use the couch, can't you? You can use the couch to jump up, as it were.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking. Is
Yeah,
jump
yeah.
up
I
to
won't
Double
require an athletics
backflip.
check. Yeah,
excellent.
I won't require a cat. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. That will let me see number 6, whom I will shoot with my bow.
Please do. I think you might be hitting him. I think you might be wounding it. I think I might spend a Benny on that. Looking for. Just can I have someone that looks remotely? Oh, he'll do. Doesn't look remotely normal, but he'll do. Okay. You've just shot a bow at a Terminator. I'm afraid it's a good hit, but it doesn't seem to have slowed it down. Maybe you just hit you obviously maybe you hit one of its redundant systems, I'm afraid. No one is on hold, so we're on to a new round. Mr. Donahue is first. As people rejig their positions on the combat deck.
I might jig my position on the combat deck. Hang on.
Queeg is now first.
Is everybody happy?
Okay, Queeg, I'm afraid you didn't automatically recover from being shaken. So you'll have to spend a Benny if you wish to act this round.
Blob blob.
Oh, very nice. That's why you took the damage. I like it.
Yep.
Okay.
That's
you're
what you're
one
talking
or two,
about.
So that will give you damage.
We're
plus
playing
2.
Savage Worlds. It's like a.
There you go.
It's like a.
If I spelled damage right, it would help.
Now, should I still be vulnerable this turn? I guess so.
Yes.
That would
Yeah.
automatically. All right.
Vulnerable goes away at the end of your subsequent turn.
All right. And I will do just a normal sweep on these 2.
Okie dokie. Weep away. In answer to your question,
I think it's a 6. Yeah.
Hidden stash, peace, and power surge. They both hit. Yep. You shake the first one. And I think you really hurt the second one.
Well, that's for a hurting waif.
Indeed. Back to Donahue.
That'll be good.
Okay.
Hidden stash, peace, and power surge. Limiting. Do you want to do anything? Or you just
Yeah, I was just
sensibly undercover.
Checking the distance, whatever the door is on the north side. Is that a balcony or?
It's just a window.
Okay.
Actually, now the bad guys are there, I can turn off the line of sight so you can appreciate the how high up you are right now. If you look out the left-hand side through the wall. Assuming it lets you guys see that if I turn it off. Does it let you see that?
Yeah, we can see we're on the top
Yep.
of a tower block, yeah.
That is what, like a regular street distance? It's like,
Yes.
it's
I
two
would say so,
sidewalks,
yeah.
2 lanes.
Looking down, yes, I would say so, yeah.
Okay.
The downside of line of sight. Sorry.
I'll check Watson's body for anything else in particular. Waif, do you want to swap adventure cards? I have extra effort as you could spend.
I don't have a whole lot that'll help you.
I don't need much to help. That's one that ought to be used, but I'm not really gonna get the best benefit from it. I'd say go ahead and use that now before I end my turn.
Not many reinforcements have turned up, have they?
That was for searching Watson's body.
Yeah. Okay, so you get to add a plus D6 to any trait roll. This roll may ace. You unshake successfully. Watson's body, he basically has the only other thing he appears to have on is concealed body armor, as it were. A corporate body armor, the type that basically doesn't look like body armor unless you actually shoot them with it.
Is it like better quality than normal stuff?
It looks fancier, but it's still just concealed body armor.
Yeah,
Well,
it's
is it better than armor clothing?
It's more. It's no better than armor clothing. It's just more expensive. Looks nattier. It's obviously corporate wear, as it were. The point is, if you're wearing it, you don't look like you're armored at all. Whereas armored clothing moves like clothing, but has armor in it. If that makes sense. The corporate body armor is obviously looks like it's still. It's not it's an image thing, isn't it? If you've got the money, why look like you're wearing armored clothing when you can be armored and just move and have clothing that moves as if there's no armor there at all? Is what I'm trying to say.
Okay. Well, I came unshaken, so I'm taking the shot on this one coming towards me.
Go for it.
I know Quig's got my back.
Yep. Well, you hit with a raise. You don't even need to use the card, unfortunately, but that doesn't matter. The point was, if you needed it, you could.
I'm going to need that because this is the armor-piercing bullets.
Go for it. Actually, yeah, I don't think I gave him armor, which would have put the toughness up even more. Actually, so
one more time.
You're not getting the raise damage with that.
That's true.
It's still, I want to take him down. So, do I need to roll a raise damage?
I'll let you roll.
If you drag the Benny onto the damage, it'll remember the raise for you. Instead of spending a Benny and then rolling damage separately.
That's all right. I still have to roll.
Go on. I'll let you do your raise. Okay, you get a 2. So that would turn it up to 16 points of damage, which will incapacitate it.
I'm going to duck in the hallway away from the guy trying to shoot people.
Okie dokie.
7 more
That
robots come up the stairs
brings-
behind Waif.
That brings us to Beulah.
All right, well, Beulah. It's gonna. Looks like Donahue's over there now, so I'm gonna roll my. And take a position by the door, and that's about all I can do.
Okie dokie. He did zap the other guy. Aki.
I'm going to shoot him. No, not with that roll, I'm not. Wow. Wow. Just shoot, you son of a...
Aki, you need to get new weapons.
Yeah, I need to get something that stops missing.
What you actually,
I need some more dice is what I need.
What you actually need is the rock and roll edge, mate.
That's one hit. Right, that'll do. What's a rock and roll edge do?
It allows you to ignore the recoil.
Stop to -2 and all your recoil, and you get auto fire.
Yeah.
Ah, well, maybe.
Because if you fire more than single shot, then you've got to deal with the recoil of the weapon, and that's what the rock and roll edge does. It ignores the recoil penalty.
Wow.
Yeah.
Right.
You're not aiming. You're spraying and praying.
Yeah.
So you get recoil.
With rock and roll, you can aim well with rapid firing.
That's it. I'll move down there and then end my turn.
Okay. That brings us to Mr. Merlin. I will put the line of sight back on because you'll need that for targeting purposes, but I just wanted you to see how cool it was outside.
And he will shoot number 5.
Okie dokie. Shoot away.
I will Benny that damage.
Dookie.
I will Benny that damage. That looks better. Yeah, there we go.
Got to love the dice sometimes, haven't you? 7, 7, 36. I don't think I'm going to endeavour to negate that damage. Oh look, that Terminator will get up in 24 hours apparently.
Well, he's a robot, yeah.
Okay. So Merlin dispatches the next as technology Terminator. I'm going to move the combat tracker on unless Merlin wants to do anything. Mr. Pow, sir.
That's the log down, isn't it? That I am aware of.
As far as you know, yes. Well, it seems quiet. You can't hear any more servo-assisted mechanical walking.
Well, just to be on the safe side, we're going to run up behind Quig. He still keeps his bonus because it's still an encounter. And we cast heal on him because we don't have time to wait.
Okie dokie.
Yeah, so
Okay.
he gains a wound.
Yep, he gains a wound. Your woodland spirit. I think I've worked out what's wrong with that. I need to fix that now.
He will just go for a wander to the left.
Okay.
I think. There you go.
Okay. At which point the lift door opens.
Mr. Belland.
Out steps Mr. Johnson, who's looking at all the carnage everywhere, and goes, "It would appear that you've had some problems."
Yeah, your assistant is a traitor.
I shall unlock the tokens.
Was a traitor.
He looks down at the Rex and goes, "How did As Technology know about our corporate safe?"
Designated driver.
Wendell? Where is he? I'll have him fired.
No, he's got his brains have been removed from his head.
That's unfortunate. He might have had information, but it cannot be helped. Anyway, well, it looks like you have dispatched, but they may well be sending more. So I suggest we conclude this business quickly and efficiently. I assume that you have the metavirus and the accompanying research data.
What are you going to do with it?
I pull up the data, toss it to him.
It says we will basically use it for the betterment of multi-species kind. He says with a smile upon his face and a lot of money. He takes the data off Donahue with thanks. He goes, the metavirus.
I forget who was carrying that, but Waif is going to show him the chit they took off the dead elf and ask if this is really any good, because otherwise they owe us.
He said, you have retrieved, you have already got that one. Yes, indeed. If you wait a second, I shall disable the malware anti-tamper malware upon it, and you'll be able to transfer the funds accordingly. And he basically sort of blinks a couple of times and says, "It was a pleasure doing business with all of you. I apologize that it turns out that my driver could not be trusted. I do hope this doesn't cause any concerns or trust issues should we ever meet to do business again. I thank you very much. I will.
Can I get your business card? There'll be an opportunity soon.
And before he leaves, we're going to warn him that we got that data once and we recovered the virus once, and if we get word that they're misusing it, we'll be back.
He smiles at all of that and says, "Believe me, if we need to contact you, we know where to find you. Good day." And he gets back in the lift.
Are you going up or down, guys?
Oh, we have to go.
I don't know
Gotta
about
get
you.
out.
I think I want a bowl of ramen.
Checking the date. Checking that if you want to. Do you want to check the data chip to see that that you've been paid?
Yes.
Obviously, if you just need to plug that in, and yep, it would appear that that authorizes the transfer of payment.
Okay.
So he has.
I'm going to reload my rifle.
Remaining 60,000.
And Waif's going to head out and keep watch on the stairs, because I'm presuming we just want to get out of here before more of the Aztec assholes show up.
Which way we get, up or down?
Down.
Yeah,
All right.
Merlin starts walking down the stairs.
Yeah, I'm doing the stairs as well. I'm not going by lift.
I mean, you want to summon the lift, I can bring it back. It's not a problem. It's right there.
You know, we're walking.
Using that tablet I've got off of Watson, I'm gonna send a false message saying they're heading for the roof.
Okay, no problem at all. Good call. I like that very much. Right. Well, we finished relatively early, but that's okay. I'm going to
just to make sure the
award you
coast is
all
clear.
of it.
Woodland spirits get out the window.
No problem at all. Okay, it is an uneventful. It is. You have no incidents leaving here. You're not intercepted anymore. As you are walking away, you do hear what sounds like drones flying overhead, possibly to the roof of this building. But it's so far up, and the air quality in this around the barrens is not so good. So it's only what you can hear. You can't see anything, but you get the distinct impression that Donahue's hunch was a good one to send them to the roof. And you are able to, I assume you're heading back to Rama on 64th.
Yeah.
Drive around a bit to make sure we're not being tracked.
Certainly. So it's how it always puts you in a diagonal when you come in. But anyway, I shall clump you together accordingly and get rid of the wooden spirit because it would have expired by the time you get back. As you head back to Ramen on 64th, you can see the lights are on and the sign saying it's open. And although he's looking a little tired, Mr. Nakazumi is already behind the counter, and he is serving a couple of customers with his ever present smile upon his face. Oh, hooray.
There's walls on this place.
Sorry?
There's no walls on this place.
No, I know, it's fun like that. It's just a roof.
I'm gonna see what's on this tablet if there's anything interesting.
On the
was a
what?
bad-
Sorry. Any interesting data on what? Sorry.
That tablet I got off of Watson.
Oh, the tablet. All right. No, it does. It appears that I mean, it does. It just appears to be a sort of straightforward communications tablet. It looks like the signal's been terminated at the other end. You suspect they've probably found his corpse by now and dislodged it. It's just a standard knockdown corporate wage slave tablet that lets you access the corporate systems. You know, always still probably you could always cannibalize it for parts, or probably find someone on the or pay parts for it on the you can sell it for parts in your shop, or keep it for yourself. So you were saying something, Pow Pow?
I was going to just mention that there wouldn't be any walls. It's literally just like an open air thing where everybody sits around the outside.
Exactly. Yeah. It's got a sort of course field's not the right thing, but it's got a rain shield, so basically rain doesn't blow in from off the street. It sort of just vaporizes as rather than getting anyone wet.
Well, here's the thing: is so rescuing the children, that was probably a good deed, then, wasn't it?
Yes.
Has anybody got renown to play?
Yeah, I've got renown.
Well, then everybody gets a picture. That's a good deed, isn't it?
Oh, someone just stole it off me. Okay.
Let's toss that
still
tablet
say
on the way
Ta-da!
there.
There it is, renown.
Like everybody gets a point of conviction.
I will concede that you are correct, and everyone does get a point of conviction.
We've got to figure out how to spend them next. Yeah.
You just drag them and drop them in the chat whenever you want to use them, like pennies.
I'll toss that tablet before we get back to Raymond.
No worries.
And then I'll reach out to my contact about selling all of that.
Indeed.
Information.
I am not happy that I'm still brain. I've got mental issues.
God, are you taking?
I'm going to pray to the god of Bass, right? That because I've got a hindrance woodland spirits, because the spirits I'm summoning don't really like me.
Yes.
So I've decided I'm going to die proving that I am a good cat spirit. So I'll have dark bargain, please.
You're taking. Oops, sorry, I didn't mean to drop it there. You're taking dark bargain. like that. That's how I do it.
So I gain the bad luck hindrance as well. There you go.
Well, hey, we've advanced. I've gone up another level. Well, it's not really a level, but yeah.
Contact full strength. Draw an adventure card immediately. Increase the number you draw and play by 1. Gain the bad luck hindrance.
Big upon you.
Let's
put that back like that. Minimise the bastard thing.
Increase the number you may draw and play by 1 forever.
So, so basically, I get Destiny's Child at the price of bad luck hindrance. That's the way it works out.
Yes, but logically speaking, that can stack with Destiny's Child, so...
Yes, it can.
Which isn't a problem. Ah, there it is. What I was trying to find was... I was trying to find Destiny's Child because I knew Destiny's Child had the code to get an extra adventure card. So you are taking the bad luck hindrance, which is major, but because you've taken it as a bargain, you get that. There you go. Bad luck as a major hindrance, but it also has the effect of adventure card +1. Right. So you have successfully completed your run, and I hope you enjoyed that. I certainly found it interesting. It was let's see, After Effects. So as technology and basically the and of 5 groups are obviously very much on the dislike. You're very much on their being struck off their Christmas card list. That's for certain. They really aren't going to be liking you. Biogen will be very happy that you have basically done the job for them. That now you know who they work for. Obviously, obviously the news feeds for the next week or so are full of chat about the corporate fights. As technology stock seems to take a dive, given the fact that no one knows exactly what went on, but given the fact there's been an awful lot of their hardware being used and being deployed around big city, that people always know that means some runners or someone's taking them down a peg or two. So their stock does take a dive. It will take a while to recover, but it probably will at some point in the future. For everything else, everything else seems to be getting relatively back to normal. Obviously, from on the runner circuit, although no one's exactly sure what you've done, the rumors do get around that obviously you did take on as technology and came out on top. So obviously, in certain circles, in certain circumstances, your street rep and credibility will be going up.
Increase 2 skills that are lower than the link strategy by 1 die. Increase a skill that is equal to or greater than its.
Also be seen as possibly a more useful group, which is why I'm giving you all in advance. It's a bit early time to finish, but I think I don't think there's much more there. But obviously you've got your advances to deal with, and if there's any downtime stuff you want to get on with, we've got time for that. Otherwise, I'm afraid it's a bit of we'll call that one an early one if there's nothing else from a story perspective, because I've got nothing planned for for next week. Next week.
Well,
I'll get that sorted.
You've got a really bad fight, haven't you? Because
No, was played, wasn't it?
Yes. Was played, you know.
No, I don't want to hit you with a fight now when you all spent all your bennies, do I?
No,
I'm not hitting.
No, it says at a later time, which could be the next session. You know?
It can be a later time now. No, I'm only joking. So, if there's any downtime stuff people want to get on with that. Otherwise, I will say thank you very much. I know it's finished a bit earlier than normal, but I'd rather sort of end it on a high note when you've completed a successful mission and then work out what's happening.
Yeah, Jimmy the Dwarf is streaming.
But,
yeah.
Obviously,
although we did that,
still got some time to chat.
We did actually do that to you once before. You somebody played OO and then they played Reinforcements, So the next
Indeed.
session, you spent hours doing this big, massive combat, and the very first round of combat, somebody cast fly and we flew away.
Yes. Shut up! Don't remind me.
Yeah, I did that in D&D the other week when it got up to something that was really powerful and we was all going to die. So I just teleported us all to another city. Bye bye. See you later. Yeah.
Yeah, it's always the way. But no, I enjoyed that. As I say, I think I rather than drag things out and sort of, I'm going to have to go away. I've got some ideas for some stuff, and I'll get that sorted. But I had a blast with that one.
I've got a question here about advancing. Right, I want to increase my shooting to D8, but I don't understand. It says it increase one skill that is equal to or greater than its linked attribute by 1 die, or increase 2 skills that are lower than their linked attribute by 1 die each. That sounds like if it sounds like if they're lower, it's better.
Yes.
It doesn't cost as much.
Yes, but I can't increase, I can't increase shooting because my agility is 6.
Yeah, so that's the point. If your agility was 8, then for 1 advance, you can increase, looking at your character sheet, your fighting and shooting by 1 die, okay? Because both your fighting and shooting are less than your agility of 8, but your agility isn't 8, it's 6. Therefore, your shooting, well, so you could increase your fighting and so for this advance, you can shoot your fighting and athletics by 1 die,
but not me shooting.
Yeah, but not your shooting. However, you can increase only your shooting by 1 die because it's basically, it's quite straightforward. It costs you, if you think about it, if you're taking an advance, if you use your advance on skill points, the way to think about it is you've got 2 skill points. Okay, it costs you 1 skill point to move a skill up a dice as long as it's lower than the attribute it's linked to.
Otherwise,
or
it costs
2 skill
2
points. Yeah, so that's the, if you think about it that way, that's how it works out. So it will cost you 2 skill points to improve your shooting, but 1 skill point to improve your fighting and 1 skill point to improve your athletics. If that makes sense, that's the way.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, so it's 2. Yeah, so the wording is a bit weird, but yeah, so that's what I was thinking. So if I want to increase shooting, I can increase it, but that's all I can do. But I can increase athletics and fighting instead.
Aye, but don't forget, once per rank, you can put a base attribute up. So,
yeah, but I can't do another rank now until I get to.
Have you already done it for season?
I've already done seasoned, yeah.
No, you haven't.
Yeah, I put my I increased my smarts or something.
You did that at novice.
Oh, so can I increase it now then? Can I?
Yeah, as soon as you hit seasons, you can increase. So instead, what you can do if you want, you see, because you've now reached seasoned, you can spend 1 advance on an attribute. So if you want to, you can increase your agility to D8. Well, that's all it will do. But then next advance, then you can increase your shooting and something else.
Takes another advance, but then you can put 2 skills can go up. I mean, and for an ideal build, you should be increasing an attribute every rank where possible. So 1 for novice, 1 for seasoned, 1 for.
All right, I've done it then. Agility is now D8. Boom. Right, which means my shooting will be better now, won't it?
Shooting won't increase yet. No.
Well, my agility rolls will be better.
Your agility rolls will be better.
But your ability to throw grenades will be better because you put.
No, it won't. Because that's athletics.
No, that's athletics, isn't it? I'm lying.
Yes. Your agility's got your ability. So your agility has improved, so you can evade things better. That's basically what it is. If you put it into D, if you put it into D&D terms, your attributes these days are used for saving throws. Your skills are used.
Don't bring it into D&D terms.
Why not?
Don't contaminate Savage Worlds.
Yeah, and don't use an old book and make you roll a skill using it on it, because that's just dumb as fuck.
But all your skills that are tied to agility will be cheaper to increase as well if they're
Yeah. So then I can increase shooting later, and it won't be as bad. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
sorry, go on. After you, Dave.
said Waste's been working out at the dojo, So she took Chi Mastery this time, which gives me 2 more Chi points, right?
Yes, it does. Yeah. Yeah.
On the boosted skill, is that a die type or just a +1? Thinking a die type, right?
I've now advanced my dwarf. He's very, very Scottish.
Good question.
Back to the Scottish dwarf.
says
Right, I'm going to end
yeah.
the stream now.
Chi powers.
Thanks for watching Metallical,
Boosted
my
skill.
only viewer.
You adapt your channel to gain increased capabilities. You
I
increase.
sent
the
you a message
boosted-
on
yeah, one die type.
Discord. See you later.
Okay, now can I boost a skill higher than the linked attribute, or am I still got that limitation?
No, you can. Yeah, you can boost. No, you can boost higher than the linked attribute, and also it increases the maximum by 1 step as well. So you can go up to D12 +3, I think.
Okay, so if I boost by